Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we'll be talking about the new relics that just dropped today, and we'll be able to have a look at if they can actually be game changing or what will happen, because I'm very curious. This is the first time in over 4 years that we have gotten some new relics into this game. So I'm really hyped to see what these actually will do. I know that there is a new one basically that you can get from the pass, much like with the Blessing of Victoria, which will take an astronomical amount of time to get and a lot of money as well. Currently it is not in here, but I assume that will change when the shop resets. There is 3 purple relics and 2 legendary relics. Let me just go straight into here and let us take a look and see what we can see. We can start with the purple ones. I have not been looking over here. Eye of Arcane Chaos. Let me go to star level 1. Vitality as before. 2 slots for that, much like with the same slots that you can get from there as with Blessing of High Priest within the first 10 seconds of a battle. So 10 seconds, that is pretty nice. The wearer has a 20% chance to quickly cast the battle skill 2 times. Wait, what? That is, goes up. 25 seconds of a battle? Has a chance to cast the battle skill 2 times. 60% chance to quickly cast the battle skill 2 times. Does that mean that the battle skill are stacked, meaning that you can have it twice, which would be for Athena getting double shields, and you can double cast that one for up to 8 shields on Athena, or like 4 on other heroes? I'm not entirely sure, but that Athena shields will stack up if that works, which is really helpful actually. Let me just assist, see what happens. Between the 25 seconds for battle, the wearer has a 60% chance to quickly cast the battle skill 2 times. So some heroes that I can think of with battle skills, obviously Sugliang, but I don't know how that will even work. If it just speeds up his action, it doesn't say that it speeds up this action, just that it can be cast twice. So I don't know if that is better than the advanced speed of agility, which we can see right here, just 30% speed bonus. I don't know. It sounds really OP for a certain hero, such as Athena, with her shield. There are probably a lot of other heroes that I am forgetting about. It would be really bad for Singiffen because you don't want him to be using his battle skill. Mathos would probably do pretty well with it, but not as much as actually having Power of Mars, which will just be a big damage increase. I'm not entirely sure how this one would work overall. We will have to see how this one actually plays out in the fight. 25 seconds of a battle, the wearer has a 60% chance to quickly cast battle skills 2 times. I'm not entirely sure what it means. If it means that every time the hero casts a battle skill, it can be cast twice, that is the one that makes the most sense. That is actually really OP. But not entirely sure who. Priest, for example. This is a battle skill. Meaning that Priest can purify 4 heroes. If it costs twice, that means that the Purify can dispel on 4 heroes, that you have a 60% chance, if when using Priest, that you can dispel 4 heroes instead of 2. That is actually really nice. Now some other heroes with some good use for this, maybe Goblin Mage. That is a command skill. No, that is that one. I need to look over this. Surrender, obviously this is a battle skill, meaning that you can use him twice. But oh my god. Um, Battle skill, the hero that I can think of most when thinking of a battle skill, that is the this one right here, which deals an insane amount of damage, and it can just do an insane amount of damage as well as doing the energy. So he has, for 25 seconds of the battle, he has a 60% chance to cast this one twice. That is an insane amount of damage. And if you consider the fact that he just got an agility skin, this seems incredibly overpowered on Abing. Not going to lie, this seems incredibly overpowered for Abing. However, and because his main damage is not from his active, that is like meh. But this is a biggest part of his active, of his damage as a whole. Like, there's a lot of heroes that wouldn't really get affected much from it. I think no, not Anubis. I'm being Osiris would probably do incredibly well with it. Lita probably. That is the normal attack. I don't know. There's a lot of weird heroes here. Sura Warrior. I don't think that this one is able to be stacked up. Most the problem with using it on damage dealers is obviously the fact that Power of Mars exists and is incredibly overpowered. But the hero that I can think of most using this relic right here, which is called Eye of Arcane Echoes, that has to be Abing, because Abing would absolutely demolish with this one. He would do some absolutely insane amount of damage, 25 seconds to cast this one twice. That is insane amounts of damage. And it is 25 seconds, meaning that he can get this buff for a very long time, almost half of the entire boss battle in RAM. That is really, really good. He is the hero that I can think of most where this one would be actually really, really useful, but I'm probably forgetting some other heroes. But Thanos, no, but being definitely the hero that I can think of most who would get the most use case out of that relic. Now let us move over to the temporal blades. Let us start at star level 1. I'm not seeing down there until I go. Okay, so it is a primary 2. This is a pretty annoying lineup of gems. Within the first 10 seconds of a battle, the wearer has a 20% to quickly cast normal attack 2 times. Oh my god, this sounds so insane for Nuada. If you don't know Nuada, he gains a speed bonus whenever he casts a normal attack. So he is instantly an insane hero for this one. 60% chance to cast that twice, which would absolutely demolish in Expedition where Nuada has some insane damage potential because he would be stacking up that 250% speed bonus, as you can see right here, insanely quickly. This would speed up his damage insanely quickly, and it would also be very, very strong for Anduin because of his normal attacks attack deal 3 times. You can pair that together with Goblin Toe, as you can see right here, normal attacks. So this one, you can use that 6 times. You can proc this one 6 times. You have a 60% chance to proc this 6 times. This is really, really good. It is pretty much the same as with Eye of Arcane Echoes, except that it is for normal attacks. Not all heroes is as good with normal attacks. Specifically, some of the best ones for it is Alita, because of this one. Normal attacks will bounce randomly to 3 targets. It is incredibly overpowered on Nuada. And it is also very good probably on Hellfire Hunter as well, because of this one. Normal attacks deals extra damage with that one. And it lasts for 25 seconds, which means that you can get some buffs up, but he will really only need to be alive for 9 seconds, which is annoying as that pairs incredibly well together with Power of Mars or Bravery of Mars. That is the first thoughts that I have on this relic. Now for the third one. I think there is a lot you can do with this one, but Nuada is the first hero that I can think of. Death Pact. This has pre. This is a very good setup of gems. Increases damage. Let me just go to star level 1 first. Increases damage dealt by 5%. Increases damage taken by 10%. Instantly recovers 100% health on the wearer's first death, but then loses 10% HP per second. On the wearer's first death, so he can be brought back to life. The damage dealt does not go up, so it is just 27% damage bonus. This just seems like it can bring the hero back to life. And it has slot for 2 Penrith gems. I don't know really when it comes to this one. These other ones are just insanely OP, especially Eye of Arcane Echoes for Obing. Death Pact increases damage dealt by 27%. Then you have the damage taken, that is really bad in a lot of different situations. Instantly recovers 100% health upon the first death. So it just means that the hero can die and then be brought back to life. That can be pretty helpful, especially in caves where you know that a hero will die because there's nothing you can do about it because there's some really bad enemies. For example, this can be used as an Asman counter, or Atsman counter in Fiendslayer's caves, instead of having a way to dispel the contract. You can just use Death Pact, which can be very helpful, and I assume that you can just use it normally once every single round, meaning that it is perfect as a counter to Asman in a lot of different situations. That is the first thing that I can think of with Death Pact. Just a really heavy counter to some incredibly bad things, but that is pretty much what I can think of. Not really that helpful in a lot of different situations. And the 27% damage bonus, that is just, it is whatever. You can look at this one. This is what we talk with damage bonus. This is what we talk with damage bonus. This is not damage. And it makes them take a lot more damage, which is also very bad for a hero who you want to be middle tanking in Asman in caves, for example, in Fiendslayers. Now we have 2 extra relics up here for the legendary. We have the equilibrium sign and we have a cross. Let us go in here. Eternal Oath. Let us go to star level 1. Increases all allies max HP by 10% for 12 seconds after the battle begins. Okay, it will not heal them, so it will be just like with him, where he the HP of all allies is increased by 8%. If you use him in a team, you will see that when you start the fight, you will not be at full HP. It will just be the same thing here. It will be the same thing for the Eternal Oath. And let us go up to see here, 64%. What the actual... What the fuck is that? My god, what is that? 64%? Are you kidding me? That is insane. But that is at max star. That is the problem with legendary relics. This is insanely difficult to get up to that point. It will take you around 4 to 5 years to get army boosting seal up. Then another 4 to 5 years to get evil befall up. And you can also choose to pick Buddhism instead, but Evil Befall is just better overall. And then you have this one, 64%. It is still very good to have at the lower star though. 10%, that can be very helpful, and it also has 4 slots for Penrest Gem, so you will not be losing out on anything by using this one in the fight, which is also very good. That is the best thing with Legendary Relics, the fact that you can use a lot of them. Now let me move over to the big one. The new Blessing of Victoria, the one that we'll be able to get from Path Shop, that will be very big for events and mostly just for spenders. Let us see what will be the new pay-to-win artifact, pay-to-win relic. Codex of Pantheon. Let me just go to the start. Okay, so it has 1, 2, 4 slots for Penras and 1 for pre, which is nice. All allies gain the following passive skills according to the types and quantity of heroes deployed. Each strength type hero provides all allies gain the passive effects according to the types and quantity of heroes deployed. Strength heroes provides recovers 1% health when being controlled or getting any debuff. Having a cooldown of 5 seconds, you heal 1% of your max HP when you are being controlled. Okay. Agility heroes provides direct attack, deals extra fixed damage. That can be very good for Alita. Intelligence type heroes provides recovers extra energy by 12 when triggering critical hit. Having a cooldown 1.5 seconds, recovers extra energy. Now I just need to go up and see what happens here. 6.5, yeah, whatever. This is the one I was thinking about here. Each intelligence type hero recovers extra energy by 80 whenever casting a critical hit, which is a skill crit chance. Having a cooldown of 1.5 seconds, you instantly know where this is useful. The first place you can think of where this is incredibly helpful, and the biggest place that you can imagine this being helpful for, Statue of Heroes. Obviously, because you can have Catherine being a lot more consistent, because you can get a lot more energy which is really, really good for Catherine, which just means that you have a lot more usability there. I don't really like the strength one. That is just meh, whatever. It can be helpful, I guess, but like whatever. But the agility heroes, direct attack deals extra fixed damage. Okay, so chained attack and attacks like AoE probably, or heroes like Abing, for example. Direct attack will be the for normal attack target and not the enemies behind, which is cool. You spend several $1,000s on a 2% damage bonus, but that one is fixed damage instead of needing to deal with damage reduction, so it's probably like 10% total damage bonus that you can get on each agility hero that does damage, for example, to like a boss. That is really good, but like this costs you several $1,000s to get up. The main part of this one is the intelligence heroes though. Now that we can go into here, now I can be able to spend some maps, and maybe we can get some look at the relics. That is new. I am able to spend 120 maps this event. So let us see what we can get. We can start off by spending 10 maps here. We got Penrith Gem and Attack Gem, which is not bad. Vampire's Tooth. I hope for some of the new relics. Yes, we got Eye of Arcane Echoes. That is very good. And that is the one that I want the most because I have a 13-star Obing. We just got 3 Shelter of Sylvanus Fragments. That is pretty helpful. And we got 1 Eternal Oath. We need 2 more to get that up. We can get this one up, which is nice. Evolve. Get Shelter of Sylvanus up. What was this one again? I forgot. Now let us go into here. This splash art has not changed. The Eternal Oath, that was pretty good because it is an HB bonus to all the heroes. Let me just finish off these. Whatever. This is the one that I was most interested about. How many did I need again in order to summon it? 10. We can spend 5 on that. I really want to test this on Bing, man. 20% chance to cast that twice. I'm really curious to see how that would work out. And I will probably have to test that on my own later. Let me just see what happens if you level it up. It is for still 10 seconds. This is the one that I was supposed to be leveling up, Power of Mars. And I will be needing to upgrade this one. Yeah, I kind of have to. But I'll probably wait until the end of the until I've finished all of my maps. But I'm really curious to see how the Eye of Arcane Echoes, which is the one that I'm most curious about, because I have a 13-star OB, would absolutely demolish with this battle skill right here. And having that together with the Eye of Arcane Echoes, which should absolutely demolish a lot of the bosses. I'm really curious to see how this goes, and I'm really happy about these new relics. As for going over them again, this one, really good for Abing. Very good for Abing, as this would be an insane amount of damage bonus for him specifically. Most damage dealers are very into using their active skill, so they won't get as much of a bonus from this one as Abing would get. For example, like think about Anubreak, think about Sugliang even. I don't even know. I do not think that the shield will be able to stack because that would not really make any sense. Poseidon's Aqua Bomb, that is like whatever. It would be really good on Cyrandor. And how was it? No, it is definitely not that good on Nuada because of the other one. Like Lugo, that doesn't really matter. Kisumi doesn't really matter. I guess it could because of the mark going on two different targets, but I don't really think that that is how it works. Like it could be helpful on Mathos. It could be very helpful on Prince of Persia, getting the unblockable slash, which getting the magic strike command, the passive skill, each time he deals critical damage. Yeah, and pair that with this one 4 times, you can then get it 8 instead. So that when he casts this one, he can be casting that 8 times, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, that is pretty much the ones that I've been thinking of first. There's probably some that I am missing. It could be very helpful on that is the active skill, that is the active skill as well. The dodge buff, Joan, sure, it can be helpful on Joan to get to for the stack, and it is way more useful than a lot of the other ones. Gilgamesh, Great Make's Tear will be way better on Gilgamesh for anything that has to do with her. Yeah, I don't really think that it will be that good on Wolf. The normal attack, sure. But yeah, anyway, Abing, Nuada, absolutely nuts on Nuada, and Lita pretty good as well, but I still think that Brave of Mars will be better for Alita overall. Death Pact mainly just as a tank for Atsmon in Fiend Slayers, or Gladiator would probably work as well. Yeah, Gladiator tank, Asman tank, stuff like that. Very good probably in Fiend Slayers, but you are only allowed to use 2 Gems, and it decreases the damage you take. This one, a lot of extra max HP at the beginning of a round. Paired with the Vampire's Tooth on Vampire, for example, in a team, that would be insane. As for the Codex, the main use from this one is the Catherine bonus for Statue of Heroes. That is the main thing that I can see from the Codex, but Blessing of Victoria is still way, way better in every single sense of the word. But this one lasts. Wait a second. I take that back. This one doesn't have a cooldown. This one doesn't have a duration. This lasts for the entire fight. So you can have this active for 90 seconds. It doesn't help Mathos in any way with this one right here. Good for agility type heroes. But yeah, I don't really think that it is that helpful for Mathos or Singiffen. But it can be very helpful for other things. Dragon, it can be pretty helpful. That is a lot of extra energy that you can be able to get for like Poseidon, which can do a lot more damage. And Sugliang as well can do a lot more damage. Joan will be a lot more consistent as well. I don't really know. I don't really think that the legendary relics will be that big of a change. The Codex definitely can be very helpful, but like it's 12 energy for the entire fight every 1.5 seconds with the cooldown. It seems like a nice bonus, but like I don't really know. I really like the fact that it has no duration on it. But my favorite by far of all these new relics is Eye of Arcane Echoes. I will be able to show you how he works in Agi Runes of Miracles tomorrow, maybe. And I'm very curious to see how that can go because I have a feeling that he might absolutely destroy an Agiram with this artifact right here. That will be very fun to see. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. This has been a really fun video, and in the future, I am planning on making a ranking video where I attempt to rank all of the relics so that you can see which ones you can develop and talk about the relics a little first. And that will be a very good video, and I'm hyped for that. That will be very fun to make. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.